Throughout human history, we have been dependent on machines to survive.
Marketing Tech Blog.
We had, I love that you have the learning to fly, because I actually wrote a blog post called "What are the wings of your marketing strategy?"
Oh,
Huh?
is that,
So
are you interviewing Bette Midler? What's going on?
No. Nick Carter here in town. He wrote a book. He wrote a book called 12 Seconds, and 12 seconds is how long it took the Wright brothers. That's how long the flight was for.
That's
and
very cool.
Yeah, and the whole thing is about lift, and it's about keeping your business, above, keeping it in the air. No matter what kind of airplane you build, no matter where it's going, whatever, you got to have lift.
Yeah.
And so, I was looking at it from a marketing standpoint, because with the Marketing Tech Blog, that's our lift. Our lift is always getting content that's of value out there to people, and eventually someone gives us a call and asks us for help.
Yep.
And that's how we make money. And so I think a lot of people have to look at that with their marketing. If it's word of mouth, then sustain that, keep that going. If it's pay-per-click ads, keep that going. If it,
That's a great analogy.
You got to have there's other strategies that can keep your costs low and everything else and grow. So talk to somebody like Site Strategics to do that. But the fact is you always got to have that maintain. It's all about momentum in this industry right now. So kind of cool. If anybody wants, they can get that on Amazon. It's called 12 Seconds by Nick Carter. Another local company here, Candidio. So if you guys heard of 12 Stars Media,
Sure. Yep.
here in town, they launched the second version of their web application. Basically, it's a really cool concept with Candidio. You can go film your own business video and then send it in through their system, and they'll have professional editors mix it and add music and do everything for you.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah, so for companies that don't have, that can't afford to go get, video made, which can be quite expensive.
Yeah.
There's some great guys like Cantaloupe in town that do like high end stuff. But this is for that company that, hey, you got an iPhone, you're out on site with your client or your customer or whatever, you do a little video and send it in. They'll throw an intro on it, an outro, put some music to it, and,
That's awesome.
and you get it back.
And they've got monthly plans, right?
Yeah, it's monthly plans for it that are really inexpensive, and they'll push it to YouTube for you and everything. So good guys. Take a look at that. There's tons of stuff that we could talk about from the Marketing Tech Blog. I went off on the verified accounts on Facebook that we talked about last show,
Right.
or the show before, and I just can't stand it. I don't like that they're putting some kind of visual indicator that says this person is more important than that person. So read that and hopefully give some people feedback. I just think they should do it like Google does. If you want a verified account, anybody can get a verified account. Go get it.
Right.
Not hand select the people that are.
Don't be elitist.
Yeah, exactly. Because social media is all about, leveling the playing field. Online, the internet is all about leveling.
So
the
how
playing
come P.
field.
Diddy can get it verified and I can't?
Yeah, incredible.
That's some good topical. You realize I actually pulled P. Diddy right?
Yeah, that was pretty
I didn't know
good.
you knew who he was.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's a toothpaste, right? All right. Sorry.
We have a bunch of articles on social. We talk about social in the workplace, and I think this is important, especially for employers out there. A lot of people are always concerned about, are my people on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and are they wasting time? And you always see those scare tactics everywhere, right? The employees are wasting 2 hours a day on, X.
Right.
And, that, in my personal opinion, that's up to the employer to take care of. If you've got someone that's wasting 2 hours a day, well, they shouldn't be an employee anymore. Nope. But the reverse is also true, and that's that companies are saving a significant amount of time and dollars right now if their employees are online and are socially connected, because you can connect directly with your vendors. You can connect directly with your clients and your customers through social mediums and really save companies tons of money. The fact that I don't have to go look up on a website, download a PDF guide on a piece of equipment. I could go on social media and find the engineer and ask them a question, or I could go to a web forum in an industry forum or something like that and ask a question. And so, it's just my thing is, as an employer, these are tools. This is and it's the ultimate toolbox, right?
That's right.
Google is the ultimate toolbox that I can look up anything and find information on everything.
Yep.
And you really should be encouraging your staff to take advantage of that. You should really want them to get on Facebook, want them to get on LinkedIn, want them. Now, you want to have guidelines for them, social guidelines.
Policies.
Yeah, you want policies in place, and they don't have to be these 40-page. You just, hey, if you make a jerk out of yourself, you're going to get fired just like you would if you went to a company outing and, danced on the table in your underwear.
You're listening to Edge of the Web Radio and
Nice.
Douglas Carr from Marketing Tech Blog. That's the guy who's dancing on the table right now. If you haven't heard this before.
That happens on Fridays, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So, last point is just keep that in mind from a standpoint is these are opportunities. If your salespeople aren't online, oh my gosh, what are they doing?
Yeah.
They could be everywhere in Quora, which is a question and answer, site.
Yeah.
You can search for tags. You can search for something. If you're a plumber, literally, you could search for Indianapolis plumber on there and answer questions, and be of help to people. So
that's right.
It's not all the doom and gloom that you hear. There's a huge positive side to it as well. And companies that are taking advantage of it are seeing infinite more growth than companies that are locking it down and closing it out.
Outside of just the vendor relationships and the type of customer relationships, you're dealing with the personality of a company.
Yeah.
You're actually opening up the doors and you're shining your employees as opposed to having this staunch edifice that nobody can even touch.
Exactly.
I mean, the days are gone where it's you got to go walk into the building and take a number, this and the other. People are there.
Yep.
Businesses are made up of people.
Right. The on a similar topic, Walker Information, which is another good company in town, they take care of Fortune companies, and they take care of what's called customer intelligence, and that's basically identifying the sentiment of people with a brand. Do people like us? Do they talk about us? Do they, and how do we capture that spirit? Well, they put out a great infographic called "Are You Customer Intelligent?" And it really speaks to. We never used to do this in the past, but what are your customers like? And not just from a needs standpoint on how they work with your company. The more that you understand your customers, the more you can help them. So it's Howard Beanstalk is another guy in town that I love listening to, and he says basically, if you own the client, if you own that trust with the client, they will always come back to you over and over and over again because your value exceeds the products that you're selling them. And so understanding whether your client needs third-party, tools or, they need someone to, wrap a truck. We were talking about TKO graphics, or whatever. You being that source of information for them makes you infinitely more valuable. But in order to do that, you've got to understand your client better. You've got to know everything that you can about them. So it supports, again, social media for connecting with your clients.
I'd make the thought that the customer actually values that interaction more than sometimes even the service itself.
I think you're right. I think you are. We actually talk, ironically, about retargeting with Facebook. Probably the biggest competitor out there for that is called AdRoll, ADROLL. And they even have in-stream. They're beta testing in-stream retargeting. So it's great to see that Twitter is going to be launching that as well. Retargeting is a huge market. It's growing like crazy. And if you guys don't know what that is, the easiest way is when you land on a site and then you start going to all these other sites that you see the ad from that site.
Right.
That's retargeting.
So it comes along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly.
We know that you landed on a paid ad that got us to a particular site, and you can actually track that and be able to display that information. And those retargeting ads are actually 2 or 3 times more clicked on.
Huge. Yep. Huge. Yeah. The last one, and there's plenty more posts out there to see on the Marketing Tech blog, but we have an infographic on the 200 ranking factors within the Google algorithm. So Backlinko and Single Grain, speaking of backlinks, they're not a backlinking company. They did an incredibly comprehensive infographic.
It was,
Now they don't talk about the weight of each factor or anything like that. All they're trying to get you to do is understand all of the elements that go into making this decision on how you rank. I push back that some of them are ranking, some of them really aren't ranking, but they can impact click-through rate and they can impact the quality of your search engine presence. But check that out for anybody who wants more insight. And these are things that obviously Site Strategics can help with. That's what you guys are paying attention to. Which
Absolutely.
factors can you change that have the greatest impact on sales through search?
I love that.